So, Munya, we've been talking about the potential harm that social media can do to families, to businesses, to countries. Do you feel that there is enough regulation and laws to protect innocent people from people who want to use social media to cause harm and injury? What are the regulations that are in place and the privacy laws, and do you feel that they are adequate? What else should be done?
Yeah, I don't think, to be honest, Herbert, that there is adequate laws to be able to protect people. There is actually no laws. If I put it into the context of Zimbabwe, I know that there is a bill which is circulating, a cyber security bill, which is in circulation, where the government is trying to come up with some sort of legislation to be able to protect people. I think it's a good start. I think the challenge is obviously how are we going to implement it? Because to implement control or legislation on a digital platform, you need to be also playing at that level.
That's right.
So if you can't legislate it from a paper,
No.
you can't create a legislation in a paper, then you then want to legislate. It's very difficult.
Right.
So you need to create also your legislation from a technology perspective, which means you need to create platforms that are able to monitor, that are able to see who is doing what and who's not doing what. As long as you're not able to do that, you can't legislate. It will then be an issue of evidence, which ideally can also be deleted.
Right.
So, for example, if I'm abusive to someone, and there's a legislation which says that if you're abusive to someone, someone is able to sue. Or if you talk about someone which is not true, someone can sue you for defamation. The issue is about the ability to then be able to present the evidence that someone did that. Because the issue is there's certain things that you can delete, you can wipe out from your social media. So it's about more of, for me, legislation. It's more on a technology level rather than on a just setting up a statutory instrument. I think when you look at these technologies, that's why you find out now these social media platforms, they are now mandated to be able to include privacy clauses within their systems, so that whoever is reading, whoever is using, they've got access to that. But to me, it's not doing enough. It hasn't stopped abuse. It hasn't stopped lying. Even in countries like in the United States, where they have gone a long way in trying to legislate and produce privacy laws, it's still happening today.
Right.
Because social media, it's ever evolving.
That's right.
They create a law today. Tomorrow there's another function that they didn't know about.
So
they create a law again. Tomorrow there's another function.
Always
that
the step ahead.
So regulation is always going to be reactive.
Exactly.
Not
preemptive.
preemptive. You know, we saw some horrible pictures not so long ago of Jihadi John, of someone being beheaded on television. And I think it took a long time for Facebook to remove that. We hear now that there are issues like terrorism, child porn, and all that have now been removed. Is that there is a program that will eliminate these before they're actually flighted? You're aware of that? Do you feel that that is happening? Let's just say this: I had a horrific experience yesterday while we were preparing for this conversation with a friend. We said, let's just test this system. And he said, I'm going to look for how to create a bomb from a pressure kettle.
Yes.
And he went into internet, and bang, all the information was there how to use a pressure cooker to create a bomb. So there is incredibly dangerous information that is still out there on internet. And what is the responsibility and culpability of the media platforms themselves in making sure that such information does not get out to the public?
The challenge with the social media platforms is they are a platform. All right. So this is like a platform era. So what it is, like, be it Facebook, be it Instagram, be it YouTube, pretty much what they are giving out is a platform. The content that goes there, they really don't have control on the content that then goes there.
Right.
So they can't really control. So what they just have to do is to be reactive. Like what Facebook and all these things are doing now, removing child porn.
Yes,
So the issue is they have to be reactive all the time, because also their systems are ever scaling.
That's right.
So for them to be able to create a system which is able to dictate that this is porn, for example, it can take them 6 months to develop an algorithm which is able to pick that someone is probably viewing something which might be indecent.
Right.
So it's also a technical challenge from these developers that are developing these solutions to be able to do that. So from a legislation perspective, it always seems like it's easy to say, this is happening, stop it. But it's not as easy.
It's not as easy. But also volume, I guess.
Volume.
Munya, with 4.5
million people.
That information that is bombarding the platforms every day, and to filter each and every one of them. But suffice to say, I think we're Dagi. Something has to be done.
I couldn't agree with you more. We definitely have to come up with a solution. Be that, despite the fact that, like you are saying, Munya, it's not easy because these guys are always a step ahead.
Yes.
But it's really sad. I believe that there certainly should be a way around this whole challenge. If people like you, Munya, in your technological space, it's important, honestly, to be able to really see how best this thing can be kept, because a lot of businesses have been destroyed, a lot of families have been destroyed, as a result of the abuse that can actually take place on social media. And there are people who actually, out there, I didn't realize there could be such evil people out there. We're just bound to destroy somebody's life, for no apparent gain, just to destroy them. And I think it's important for something to be done. If you guys put your heads together, I'm sure certainly something can be done.
I think there is need for obviously a new way of dealing with things. I think to deal with social media impact like what you're talking about, it means now you need a team of people that are more futuristic than current.
That's right.
It's people that are able to envision, to say, what are the potential threats
this is it.
that social media was likely to present in the next 10 years.
That's right.
Now that's how legislation is supposed to be done. So legislation cannot be done anymore by
retrospectively.
Retrospectively. So you need to have now people that are able to have that ability. To be able to look into the future and start to look at the potential, then you legislate before things happen.
That's right.
So which means it's a new breed. It means you for that you don't need a lawyer. You need a technology expert.
Oh yes.
So what is now happening is it's because there has to be a shift in talent and responsibility.
Yes.
Because a lawyer will not be able to know that they can only know what is current, what has happened, but they can't legislate into the future.
Right,
They can't legislate into the future, and in conventional media like television, radio, newspapers, is that there is an editor. There's someone who filters information and verifies and checks and cross-checks. Now, any kid under a tree can send information to 4.5 billion people. But there was a story of that has been going on of Zaha, is a professional football player who's been getting racial abuse. And he went to the police. The police traced that and they found that he's a 12-year-old.
Then what do you do?
12-year-old. So I think it just defines just the dangers of social media. That a little 12-year-old can cause havoc. Imagine if there was an interaction, a physical interaction between the 12-year-old and Zaha.
Exactly.
It will never happen.
Will run like a, but now it's faceless.
This is it.
The faceless,
It's faceless. So you got your work cut out. Your people in technology.
But I think we have to start somewhere.
That's right.
I think like what what you have said, Herbert, something still has to be done.
Right,
We have to
right,
do the
right.
best we can
Yeah,
with
that's
the
right.
resources that we currently have
Yeah.
to at least try to regulate what we know, you know, and then start to plan, you know, going forward.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
it can't be left
No.
like that.
It can't.
It,
No.
it can't be left like that. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I think let's talk about the dangers of the digital footprint. The dangers of digital footprint, especially for young people who take all manner of posts, either jokingly, playfully, sometimes vindictively, and they think that it will disappear. I've got a short story of what happened in South Africa not so long ago, where a young lady, a white lady, was standing to be Miss South Africa, and apparently had a very good chance of winning. But black tweeters did what they do best,
Yeah.
and they found that about 5 years ago, this lady had actually posted a tweet which was very strong racial undertones, and she was approached and forced to withdraw. So there are powerful lessons here
Yeah, that's
about the permanency
Yeah.
of internet, of the internet footprint. So what advice would you give to young people about this issue here, and how it may come back to bite them in future when they least expect it?
Yeah, I think, you know, they always say the internet never forgets.
That's true.
Like that.
Yeah, whatever goes there becomes permanent,
Yeah.
and it's not going to
Yeah.
go away.
Yeah.
And for young, for the youngsters, I think obviously our lives are evolving on the social, media space, and whatever is there, it's going to haunt you.
That's right.
Yeah.
So what is very important is to make sure that whatever is there, it's good content.
Yeah.
It's things
Yes,
that are good
yes,
about you.
yes, yes,
So
yes.
things, they might appear like you are playing today,
yeah.
but they are going to haunt you tomorrow.
Right, right.
Even for us, for example, as a company,
Yeah.
nowadays anyone that we recruit,
Yeah.
we do a social media audit on you.
Okay.
That's good.
We check what do you post,
Yeah.
what do you post about,
Yes.
who do you talk to,
Yes.
what do you talk about.
Wow.
Because what we
Wow.
have seen is
Yeah.
we can actually build a behavior
Yeah.
from how you actually behave on social media.
That's right.
And I've know a lot of people that have lost business contracts because of what they post on Facebook
Okay.
or on Instagram or on Twitter. I know a lot of people that have lost job opportunities because they once posted a nude picture on their Facebook page.
Wow.
So it's those kind of things that the youngsters have to be made aware that now this is the platform that people are using. I think if you look on Facebook now,
Yeah.
they also have got a recruitment
Yes.
aspect of it.
That's right.
So,
Right.
Yeah.
which
Right.
means
Right.
whatever you're going to do, the next thing is they are going to integrate artificial intelligence into it.
Yeah.
Which means it's going to basically look at who you talk to,
Yeah.
what have you posted about,
That's
and
right.
everything, and you then create a rating for you. So now we are living in an open world.
That's right.
I think that's where we are graduating
Yeah.
towards,
Yeah.
where our lives are just going to be out there.
Yeah,
right.
They're just going to be
Right.
out there.
Yeah.
Everything you do,
Yeah.
people will have access to. So it's now very, very important to be very cautious about what you
What
write,
you put out,
what you
yeah.
post, what you do about yourself. Because it might not be important today,
Yeah.
but 5 years down the line,
come to haunt
Yeah.
you.
like the story that Herbert spoke
Yeah.
about, you'll be like, but
Yes.
I was just a child,
Yeah.
Yes,
I was just
indeed,
posting,
yeah.
but
Indeed,
it
indeed,
can affect your life for good.
Doug,
Yeah, but I think this is a-
lessons for young people?
I think
what
from
message
this-
would you want to?
For me, for the young
Tell them.
people, I still go back carrying my other hat again. That the issue of values become very, very critical, because one has to be very responsible. Our young people, they really need to know that no matter, like we were saying, that the internet will never forget.
Yeah,
It has
yeah.
got that kind of a memory. It will never forget. So the lessons to the young people is just to behave responsibly. You know, if you are involved in entanglements, as we now know them these days, they may come to haunt you even at a personal level. When you want to get married, I mean, your in-laws are looking at, going back to the Facebook, and they are looking at what you have been doing historically and whatnot, and those entanglements can actually come to haunt you, and you may actually lose a husband or a wife as a result of that. In terms of business, like Munya was saying, that can also, come to haunt you in terms of your character, in terms of your integrity. Again, it will come to haunt you. So again, the idea is to be just responsible.
Yes.
Yeah.
Internet never forgets.
No,
Like that.
no.
When we were students in Europe,
Yeah.
the fad then was tattoos.
Right.
Especially for the lighter skinned
Yes.
students.
Yes.
And they would fall in love with the girl in
Yeah.
their first year.
Right.
And they put a tattoo of the girl's name.
And then the erase it.
And then, 3 years later,
Yeah.
The relationship is
the
over.
tattoo was very permanent.
Yeah.
It could only be removed painfully through surgery.
You see now.
Yeah. But internet can't.
No.
Because even if you follow it
Yes.
to delete,
Yes.
is that it's
Yeah.
been downloaded somewhere and
Yeah.
somewhere
In
and
somewhere,
somewhere.
Exactly.
somewhere, yeah.
Exactly.
Is that this is a permanent tattoo
permanent
Yes.
which cannot be removed.
I
And
like that,
think it's a-
David. I like that. It should be, a permanent tattoo.
So even maybe
Yeah.
if I'm to pose a question, maybe Herbert, so does it mean that as parents we are supposed to follow what our kids are doing on social media as a way to protect them from themselves? Because I think in some cases you don't know what your child is doing on social media. So does it mean that we have to also be actively following them on?
We've got an evangelist.
Yeah.
But my own view is that the point you make is very, very profound, that regulation will always follow innovation.
That's
Innovation is far, far faster.
Exactly.
It is impossible for the regulators, for parliament and the regulatory authorities to anticipate every single technological innovation that may take place and may be abused.
That's right.
It is impossible
It is.
to anticipate that. I think the responsibility still remains what Daddy said about family values.
Family
We've got
values,
an
yeah.
obligation to
Yeah.
create and bring up children that don't need a law to protect them.
No,
That
exactly. I like
need
that.
a value
That's
to
powerful.
protect them.
Amen.
About the do's and the don'ts.
Yeah.
And the responsibility of parents
Yeah.
is enormous,
That's
particularly
true.
when we grew up.
Yeah.
We only watched TV and there was one channel.
That's right.
And that was it. And you read the newspaper and there was only one newspaper in the house. The world has exploded.
Yeah, that's true.
Into our children having access to the entire universe,
Yeah.
the good, the bad,
And the ugly.
ugly. And it's not going to be possible for us to be with them all the time to tell them what to do. There's a voice inside
Exactly.
that we must plant into our children
I like
as
that.
to what this family stands for.
That's so
That's
profound.
the biggest self-regulation that we should instill into our children. But evangelist,
Yeah, you know what? I could. That's why I said amen. I couldn't agree with you more here. But honestly,
profound,
on a serious
yeah.
note, that is very important. It's all about the value system. It's one thing to say to be following them and whatnot, but it's what you plant, like Herbert was saying, into their lives and begin to teach them these values. And if you teach them the lessons like you've just been saying right now, Munya, they will begin to appreciate the importance of this. It is very important to ensure that you give them the values that will enable them to become successful tomorrow. I mean, during our time, Herbert, it will just take your mother's eye, just to know, it should just look at you.
absolutely.
Just look at you, and you would know that what she is saying right now is that I have to leave this place and leave immediately. Yeah, because if you didn't do that, you'll be in trouble after the visitors are gone.
Yeah.
So those were the kind of the values that we taught. I mean, here I will just tell you that you are not behaving yourself.
Taki, what I tell my children is that one day you may leave this house.
Yes.
This is a building.
Yes.
This is
That's right.
brick and mortar,
Yeah.
stone in
Yeah.
this case. That one day you will leave this house.
Yes.
But you will not leave the home.
Wow.
The home is a value system.
I like that.
The house stays behind, the home stays in you.
That's profound.
wow.
And this
I like
is
that.
how we brought you up. This is what you believe in.
Wow.
So when you're out there,
Yes.
you have left the house,
Yes.
but you are still at home. You are with us in what we inculcated
I like that.
into
I like
you.
that.
Yeah.
But it takes parents who are as responsible as you are, Herbert, to do
Yeah.
that, because some of us as parents, we have left these kids to do whatever they want to do. They lack, especially us as men, they lack, that fatherhood. They lack a fatherly figure who can teach them values and, just teach them how to be successful out there. And it's very sad,
Yeah.
But I like that, Herbert.
Yeah.
At least those are some of the notes that I've taken from you as well.
So, the future of social media, as we round off, it's Friday today, I think.
Yeah.
So the future of social media, as you summarize, Munya,
Yeah.
where do you see it going? What needs to be done? How can we optimize on the good things and curtail the bad things?
I think the future is going to be a more connected ecosystem. It's going to only get worse in terms of interlinkages of information. So now we're seeing cross-pollination of information, and I think we are now living in what they call the API age, where it's pretty much going to be an open ecosystem, like what I was saying. I think social media is going to force more in terms of transparency, because I think from what is happening, they feel that transparency is what is going to take away some of these challenges that we're talking about, where information is going to be out there because of the interconnectedness of information that is going to be there. And we've already started seeing it, where all these social media platforms are now connected. Gmail is YouTube is connected to Facebook, Facebook is connected to WhatsApp, WhatsApp is connected to LinkedIn. So all the platforms are now becoming one global ecosystem, which basically means that information is going to be readily available.
That's right.
Even more than what it is today.
Okay.
Where, like, in a click of a button, everything about you is going to be out there. And so what it means is, obviously, people have to prepare themselves for that ecosystem, because everything is going to be driven digitally into the future. And we see that there's going to be more in terms of data usage, which is very important in terms of reducing the cost of data. Yesterday, I was reading an article where there's already 6G before we even implement 5G. Yes,
Wow.
and the main drive now, even on social media, is they are calling it duplication technology, where now there's going to be a hologram effect. So the same way we're sitting right now, I will be sitting on this chair talking to Herbert and talking to you, Doug, when I'm not here.
Yes.
So which means I will be sitting at my house, but there is a duplication of my image in its real state.
Right.
And as you can see, that the future of social media is going to distance people more apart. I think people will become very independent, and people will there will be less and less of physical interaction. That's what I'm seeing.
Yes.
There will be less and less of physical interaction. People will be just sitting at home, and they'll be able to interact and do everything at home, which I feel is going to kind of kill that social intimacy that we're used to, where we sit over a cup of coffee, look each other in the eye, and be able to talk. I see that obviously disappearing. Obviously COVID and pandemics like COVID are even making it worse. Where in terms of that. So the main issue now is to then be able to adapt to that, where businesses are supposed to then align themselves to that new development which is going to come. Everything is going to be done now on social media. I see emails are going to die, into the future, because all communication is going to be instantaneous. Right now, most of the communication is happening on WhatsApp and everything. So it's going to kill emails. It's going to kill the whole formal way of things that we know. I see it dying.
Wow.
And everything is just going to be happening on social media platforms. Your banking is going to be happening on social media platforms. Your entertainment, your medicals, everything is not going to be run on your social media platform. So it's this one big global system which is being created. And I always then tell people that even us as Africa and as Zimbabweans, it's high time we need to start creating our platforms. Because what's going to happen is the world is going to be globalized. I think you have read the issue of Facebook wanting to get into the payment space. In Brazil, they had already done a deal with Visa, and all the payments are now going to be driven by Facebook. In 7 days' time, it was abolished. The government came and say, we really thought about this. This can happen. Why? Because they've seen that these guys are going to globalize the world.
That's right.
They're going to control the financial system. They're going to control the information system. They're going to control the health system. So as countries now, we cannot just watch and say there is a Facebook. There is a WhatsApp. I think it's time for us to start to create our own platform.
That's true.
Wow.
Otherwise, if we don't do that, we are all going to be swallowed.
Right.
All of us.
Right.
The banks are going to die away.
That's right.
Because now I can pay using Facebook, integrated on Visa. So it will be social media networks, Visa, and these global companies. They are going to be the ones that are going to remain if we are not careful.
Okay. That's fantastic. That's powerful.
Yeah. So to me, it's those things that we are seeing into the future. To say businesses now, also it means foreign products, they will be easily accessible. And the smaller companies can always be killed as well. So to me, I see a bigger risk from a local level into the future if we actually also don't create our own platforms as countries. I think you've seen what China has done. They saw this coming long time ago. They built their own systems, WeChat, QQ, Tencent, and all those kind of things. And now they've protected their market. Because if they hadn't done that, Amazon was going to swallow them alive.
That's true.
As well.
Wow.
So to me, that's basically what basically I'm seeing. There'll be more engagement. Education, everything is going to be driven through this platform. So it's high time we also have to start to see how do we plug ourselves into that equation, so that we are not consumed. So it's very
powerful.
interesting.
Tagi, the future?
The future
of
for
social
me,
media?
it looks really bright. I mean, we really have to buy welding goggles to look at it. Otherwise, we will have to squint our eyes to look at it. It looks really bright from what he was saying on the positive side, because it then means that for us, in terms of the business space now, we have now to change ourselves, to change, the way we think, the way we've been doing our businesses, to change our business models and begin to align ourselves to what he was actually saying, because that's where the world is going. And I believe that even us here in Africa, we have the capacity to really develop our own platforms, our own systems, because those platforms and whatnot that we're talking about were built by men and women born of a women like you and I. So we can do that, and this again poses an incredible opportunity for us as Africans to begin to be counted out, to stand out, to be distinctive out there as we come up with our own platforms. Look at what is happening in Rwanda, in Kenya, in some of these other markets. You can clearly see that the capacity that is there is just incredible. So for me, I'm very excited about the future. Extremely excited.
Amazing. So the future is like we saw in fiction movies, some time back, where we saw people talking to their phones, James Bond talking through his phone, cars that go underwater, and driverless cars. This is reality.
That's already happening now.
These things are already happening. So we are living in the future right now, and that's what I'm getting from you, is that there will be more physical distancing,
Right.
but more social networking and integration of the entire world.
Yes.
I think this is what we've always said about COVID-19,
Yes.
is that social distancing is not correct.
No.
It is physical distancing, because socially
Yeah.
We are even
we
closer.
get,
Yeah.
Much closer.
to get even closer. Is that, like Munya always says, is that the future is that every business is going to be digital. Every business.
Yeah.
You know, the biggest hotel group is Airbnb. They don't own one hotel. The biggest taxi company does not own
Uber,
a single
yeah.
taxi. Now the biggest supermarket chains don't own a single
Amazon,
Amazon. So that's the future.
Exactly.
And I think that if there are any young people out there who are watching this conversation, is that they must understand that is where the future is. Is
That's
that
right.
whatever they are doing, whatever they've done in school, it doesn't matter. Is that they have to see the future and they address the issue of demand,
Yes.
of customer demand,
That's right.
rather than the supply chain of how
No,
to get there.
that's right.
Ultimately, it will be digital.
That's right.
It will be
Ultimately,
digital,
it
yes.
will be digital.
You know, yeah. So it's interesting. I was talking to some young guys, and they were then asking me that with this digital craziness which is happening right now, what career then should I be able to
Right.
do?
Yeah.
It was a real question.
Yeah.
Because one was saying I'm doing accounting, but each and every day I am seeing how accounting systems are taking away my job.
Yeah.
Each and every day what I am supposed to do as an accountant is being limited and limited. And in the next 3, 4, 5 years, companies will not need me. Then another person was also, saying the same things, to say automation is like literally taking away most of the things that we are actually doing. And I was telling them that, whenever there is a shift in terms of industrialization that happens, there's new opportunities that also come about.
Exactly.
So it only means that we have to learn the new skills that are needed for the next business that is going to come.
Right.
So it only changes
So your
in that.
education, Munya, whatever you did, whether you did geography or history or whatever,
PhDs
is that it does not restrict you into that, but it gives you the intellectual capacity to learn and pursue your vision. Pursue the future. Like my daughter always tells me that on the New York Stock Exchange, is that the majority of stockbrokers are actually engineers. I've worked in marketing with people, doctors who've gone into market, Dr. Medicine who's gone into marketing. So ultimately is that all of us have to see what Munya is saying as the vision, as the mega trend, as to where the world is going to, and it's going digital. And you cannot fight it. Accept it, embrace it, don't fear it, and get into it and be part of it.
Exactly. Make money.
Let me just, in conclusion, there is a story of someone called Einstein, which you may or may not have heard of. Albert Einstein. Is that through a physics formula, E is called mc squared, which was a formula for defining energy. Is that through that people like Robert Oppenheimers and all that developed a nuclear bomb which caused devastation in August of 1945 in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, where millions and millions of people were killed. That was not the intention of nuclear energy. Development of nuclear energy was to provide the biggest source of energy, which was almost as powerful as the sun, itself. But it got diverted into destruction, into warfare. I think this conversation today has shown social media that it is an incredibly powerful innovation that has got a lot of good, like nuclear energy would do in solving the energy problems of the world. But it's also got potential to cause incredible harm,
That's right,
like
yeah.
we've discovered in the hangout today. So, social media, friend or foe, and I think what we have come out with at the end of today was that it's not friend or foe, it's friend and foe. It's end.
Yes.
The empowerment there
Yes,
is
that's
the
right.
end,
Exactly.
not the or.
That's
so. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for another interesting afternoon in the hangout.